Welcome to the Bill Levinson Experience, a motivational podcast relating to the insurance brokerage industry and business in general. And now, here's Bill Levinson.
What I want to do next is talk about our featured presenter. So Danny, and I will toot his horn for a second. So what I want to say is Danny and his company, Apis, number one, they are 100%, not 90%, 100% focused on helping insurance agents, insurance agencies, right? Spread the word, okay? Handle all of their marketing, their website, their technology, all of the above. But what I love about him and this company is they're not working with automobile dealerships and shoe companies in the mall, okay? This is their bread and butter for the last, I believe, as long as us, over 25 years. They've been in business doing the same exact thing. So they're focused on this industry. And what I also want to say is we did a podcast together. We're going to send out in our thank you email. Definitely check that out. But I want to just start by introducing Danny, and then if he can just give the agents a 100-foot overview on the platforms and the tools available, that would be great. Danny.
Hi, Bill. Hi, everybody. Thanks. That was a sweet introduction. Apis Productions, our company, has been in business over 20 years, servicing all the needs that we uncover in the industry, whether it's BGAs, IMOs, we have carrier clients, we have agent clients, and our marketing department has grown significantly in the last 5 years. It's quite a robust team of people and experts. And basically what we do is we've been helping people, agents and BGAs, focus their marketing and recruit, get more business, find more clients, and through paid ads on every platform, whether it's LinkedIn, X, Facebook, even Instagram. And we really make it all about the data. It's a very data-driven process. So our goal is always to get the cost per lead down as low as possible. We treat everybody's money as if it's our own. We don't like to waste any dollars. So we're really hyper-focused on cost when it comes to marketing today. And AI is changing the game all the time. And the platforms that you market on are utilizing it to great effect. And your marketers should also be leveraging it where it's appropriate. So that's kind of what we've been doing, just trying to get people more business and helping them be more successful.
Yep. So Danny, I just want to keep it very simple for the audience, but basically, if you think about, I'll talk to the agents for a second. If you think about like Insure Me Now Direct, okay, and you all know this, it's a free platform that we hand over to you, right? You get appointed with the 4 carriers, and now you have this beautiful website where the client can go quote, they can purchase the product, they get approved, everything's done A to Z. Okay, just like Amazon. But now the $1 million question is, I have this free platform and Levinson's great and they have a great marketing team, but how do I drive traffic to my Insure Me Now Direct platform? So that's where Danny and his company comes in. So Danny, what would you say, like the best way? Right now, I think the paid ads is a big plus. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Bill, your company is by far, and we've been with you for a long time, but there's a lot of mutual love here. It's because you've provided all the tools anybody would ever need, right, to succeed. It's incredible. It's just so generous. And we have a lot of clients, and I don't see other people providing what you provide. And I'm not, just saying that because you're having me on. I'm saying it because I've seen it. It's observational. And
Thanks.
I think that but one thing that we've learned as marketers over the years is it's not as simple as if you build it, they will come when it comes to leads and when it comes to prospects. You have to build it for sure. You have to have a house for them to come to, and Insure Me Now Direct is that landing page. It is that house. But, you got to stand up on the mountaintop and, hold your lion cub up there and say, hey, I've got these great opportunities. Your family needs protection. I can help. Come on in to this house. And that's really what marketing is about. It's about amplifying your offering to people who have the need. And the good news is, because of Insure Me Now Direct, any agent that works with you has this very well built platform that you can bring prospects to. And so the paid ads is the way to reach out, to extend your reach. You might be one agent, right? Or even a small agency, but nobody cares that you're only one agent. It doesn't matter how small or big you are. The great equalizer is the digital marketing space, because you can put up an ad on there, and State Farm can put an ad up there. I mean, it's like it's the same. The end user, the consumer, just sees your ad. So it's important to have a really, really compelling ads, and to really analyze the data and see which ads are working, which aren't. Doing, A/B testing, where you take you've got two ads. One's a video of a guy with a script you've given, or maybe of you, the agent themselves, talking about the importance of annuities. And the other is the same guy, same script, but wearing a different colored shirt. Because the detail, and this is kind of what APIS helps with, is like these details matter to how many clicks you get on that ad, how many people make it to your Insure Me Now Direct landing site, and most importantly, how many convert. Do they call you? Do they fill out a form? Does the business end up landing? Was the lead a good lead? So that's really where we step in to help, is ad creation, follow through on the data and the analytics to really help drive down the cost of each lead. And a cost per lead, for people who don't know, is like, if you're spending, I don't know, $300 a month on ads, and you're getting, tens of thousands of impressions in front of consumers each day on the platform, when they click it, and a certain percentage of those people will click it, and of the people who click it, they'll go to your Insure Me Now Direct and take some sort of action. So getting them to your page, that's the lead. That's when they become a prospect. And so the question is, of that $300 a month, how many leads did you generate, and how much does each lead on average cost? And because you really want to drive that down. So that's what we help with a lot here at APIS with so many of our clients now.
Yeah, that's great. And so right now, and so the agents are aware, as far as a starting point. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about this. If you say, I really got to get started, I got to grow my business. So think of Insure Me Now Direct, right? But think of Insure Me Now Direct version 2, right? Yeah. And that's called the pro version. So that's available. So basically, and Danny, stop me anytime, but sure. Think of a professional WordPress website that's your own. Think of like Levinsonandassociates.com. That's a WordPress website that Danny and his team built. Okay, so you would have your own version. It's like Insure Me Now Direct on steroids. And then if you're selling health, P&C, they can tie in everything into like one home base. Okay, so they can build that out for you. Yep, and that starts at about $2,000, and then at least $100 a month for maintenance. Okay, that's it, if you want to go that route. And then Danny, if someone, let's just say that right now they want to keep the free version, which we give them, and they want to start running some ads, and they want your expertise and management. So what minimum, if they're working in, say, South Florida or Southern California, whatever, what would you say they need to think in their mind? I need to start with what type of budget, like a monthly budget, if they want to start running ads and.
Yeah, if you want to run ads on most platforms, there's just for the ad spend alone, there are minimums. And obviously, when you start running ads, you don't just say, oh, this is going to be the best ad ever, and everyone's going to buy from me, and so I'm going to leverage a lot of capital on it. That's not the right approach. One of the things that we help with is we meet with you. Our team meets with you. It's usually myself. It's usually our creative director and marketer, Jason, and Peps, and we have about 8 people in our marketing department. And our goal is to first do kind of what we call a test budget. So you spend as little as you possibly can. Maybe it's $8 a day, right, on ads. So a little less than 300 a month, or even less. Some platforms don't have a minimum of 300 a month, so you can even go lower, just to see which ads are working, who are the winners and who are the losers. And when you find the winning ads, the heroes, then you allocate your budget just to that ad and save just a little test budget left over to test. So I would say typically what we see is 300 a month to run an ad, to run a series of ads. It's not just one ad, by the way. We would build you like 5 different ads, and the algorithms choose between them based on performance. So you can really kind of vary your offering. And then our time, what we do is like every 2 days, we're getting the data from the ads and we're making very agile and quick decisions in order to minimize your ad spend and maximize your return on your ad spend, or your ROI. So that's a process we do. And that typically takes us, we do it like each day we look, we tweak. So that usually takes us, about 3 hours a week we spend on that. And that's our time. So I think your all in cost, depending on how many ads you're running, depending on your ad spend, if it's a 300 ad spend with, 4 or 5 ads, and we're doing, 3 hours a week, and we discount for Bill's IMO. But typically you'll be looking at probably a neighborhood of around 700-800 a month all in. And that's with us managing the process and creating new creatives for you as needed. So that's about what you're looking at. And there's no long-term contracts with that either. I think the most important thing that you're getting is the strategy, because you don't just go out there and try to sell life insurance to everyone. You try to sell certain products to certain groups. You target your audience. I loved when you were talking earlier, Bill, about annuities, because you're right. They're super hot right now. And there's a number of market forces behind that. But what matters is, you want to target who is the audience. If you wanted to sell more annuities, who's the audience you're looking at? You're not trying to sell them to 30-year-olds. Unless they just inherited a whole bunch of money, I suppose. But you're looking at a very targeted audience, individuals nearing retirement, ages 55 to 75, investors who are conservative, who are nervous about the market and want sort of they want to prioritize their capital preservation, instead of putting it in a high risk growth. People with large retirement savings, big 401ks that want to allocate funds to guarantee income or tax deferred growth income. These are very specific audiences that you would sell an annuity to. And the beauty about paid advertising on pretty much all of the platforms, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or what have you, is you can really dial in the specific audience you want those ads to be shown to. And the reason that matters is because if I'm licensed in California and a few other states, or if I'm licensed in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida, but not the other states, you don't want your ad spend being wasted showing it to people in Maine, or showing your ads to people in Washington state if you're not licensed there. So that's one way you narrow who the ad is shown to. But then you also don't want to be trying to sell annuities to a 25-year-old. So you can tell the platform, and we help with this strategy to really dial in who's going to see this ad, because the people, in the case of annuities, 55 to 75, significant retirement savings, high earners looking for deferred growth. If you can dial in that audience, those are the people that are most likely to buy. And no matter what the product is, there's a specific audience for it. Even term. We've found with other agents and clients that we're advertising direct to consumer for term or for final expense. There's a real niche that works better. There's more buyers in certain age demographics and in certain parts of the country. So sometimes it'll be the case where we'll run an ad. It'll only be being shown in one state because we know that there are more buyers for that product in that state, and your return on your ad spend will be better. These are all things to consider. And that's what we help with a lot. Those discovery meetings in the beginning when we're trying to, see who your audience is, where you've had success selling in the past, what products you like to sell or that you feel strong in selling once they do call you or meet with you. That information tells APIS where to focus and strategize your marketing dollars for the most effective reach.
Yeah, no, that's priceless. And think about this: you're an agent out there, and obviously this isn't for everyone. But if you're out there today and you're thinking, you know what, I'm seeing all these email blasts, and I'm hearing about a lead company in my Facebook group or whatever it is, right? We know I'm 100% sure that 90% of those lead vendors, right, that I've heard about over the last 20 plus years, they're not going to work out. They might work out in the beginning, okay, maybe for a month or 2 or 3, and then they're going to fizzle out. It happens almost every time. And I know for a fact, and you think about this, because if the lead company or the leads were that great, the owner of the company would go get their insurance license and they would be a billionaire. Right? Why would they not? I mean, it's common sense. So if you can create your own leads by utilizing a system like what Danny has to offer, that's the name of the game. And think about this. A hot lead is going to cost you I've seen an annuity lead, an IUL lead, anywhere from $50 to $250 per lead. What Danny's saying is for a minimum of $700-800 a month, okay, they'll create your leads for you. That could result to $20 a lead, $10 a lead.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's the kind of numbers we see. For example, with term and final expense, we're getting it down to $8 a lead on ad spend. And, once everything's set up and running, it's a pretty smooth, like once you find the winners for the ads, that's several months where you really don't need to change. And as long as you or have someone like us, which is what we do, are constantly like sitting on top of those ads and their performance to make sure that the moment something changes or the moment the cost per lead is going up, we reach out and we say, hey, we're going to adjust this creative so that it's a higher performing. But case in point, we had gotten our kind of, I call them 2D ads, where it's just images with words and stuff like that. We had gotten them down to about like $19 a lead for a term shop that we were helping out. And we weren't happy with that. I mean, it was good. It was below the industry average of 28 on digital marketing by $8. But we thought, well, gosh, what if we used a video? Maybe we should do a video instead. So we had them just record themselves, and then we edited the video to make it, good for the digital ad. And all of a sudden, we got there. It doesn't cost more to do a video. You just read the script. We help write the script and everything. We know the industry. We're not, we're not like Samsung. Samsung makes refrigerators and toothbrushes and every kind of thing. They're a master of none and good at everything. APIS lives and breathes only in the life insurance space, and we have for over 20 years. We understand who buys these products. We understand who sells these products at every level of the chain, from distribution on up to the carrier. So I think that that's part of what we bring to the table is we know why and who buys what product you want to sell. And so that's really where we kind of shine. So we thought, well, let's have a video of an older gentleman reading this, explaining to people his age why final expense is important, why long-term care insurance is important. And we saw the cost per lead go down from right around $20 to $9.50. So we halved it. And so we were like, that's great. And we started testing other videos. And so we do a lot of video work too, a lot of video ads too. It doesn't cost more to run a video ad than a two-dimensional ad. So it's really about having the ability to having the knowledge of the most current data every day of what's happening with your ad spend and the agility and ability to shift gears when you see that ad spend not returning for your client. Because like I said, I always think it's like the Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank for people who watch that show, Kevin O'Leary. He has this great line, and I agree with it so much. He says, I don't want my investment dollars, and in this case, it would be your marketing investment dollars. It says, I treat my investment dollars like soldiers. I don't want them to go out and get kidnapped. I want them to go out and kidnap other dollars and bring them back. And that's how we view marketing budgets. It's like this marketing budget has to make you money. It has to make you more money than you're spending into it. Obviously, that's the goal. And sometimes that takes 4 weeks, but between the algorithms and it might take a month until you really find the winners. But once you do, you're getting really qualified, targeted leads that are reaching out to you, or that you can act on and reach out to. So we work with you in that sense. We also ask you, of those people you've been able to get in hard contact with on the phone or in a meeting, how many of them were you able to close? Because we need to know that data from you in order to ensure that the leads coming in were, people who were ready to buy. So it's a really interesting kind of dance between getting the lead to your doorstep, getting the lead to your phone, into your Calendly, into your meeting, and then finding out how'd that go. Were you able to close it? And that way we can come up with the ultimate cost per number, because there's cost per lead, but once it gets to you, we want to know cost per conversion. How many actually bought from you? Because that way we can really understand your customer acquisition cost. And there's all sorts of great things we can do with all of that data to help keep the business coming in.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And think about this, if I was an agent, most important, they're not an agency that's also selling to the same bucket of consumers. So that's a big deal. And they're not a lead company. They're not a lead vendor. Okay. Right. I mean, this is something that kind of came together by accident. And then, here we are today. So I don't know. I think the trust has to be number one when it comes to leads and marketing. And I think and I mean, between you, Pari, the team, that's proven itself over and over. And that's why we invited Danny on the webinar again. So for that reason. All right, let's talk about, just for a second, social media management. And I know, this all kind of ties together. You have your professional website, you have your paid ads running, and then you need to have your social media presence, right? Your pages that are up and running, right? People are going to look you up, especially if you're running these paid ads. So do you want to talk about that for a second? Just the social media aspect?
Yeah. So, social media, and it's, again, AI is changing this game a lot too, but it's changing it for the better as far as an agent would be concerned, in my opinion. It is important to have a social media presence. You can't have people looking you up. Maybe they see an ad of yours. They go to your Insure Me Now Direct website, or they go to your personal website, what have you. Sometimes it takes people a little while to make a decision to buy life insurance. I'm sure every one of your agents has experienced this. It doesn't always happen on the first contact, right? It takes several times for any consumer to make any decision. But life insurance is no different in that sense. You want avenues, and social media are these avenues, to be able to constantly approach your prospect. And so let's say you are really good at selling group insurance or life insurance to small businesses. Facebook is fine, but really LinkedIn would be your best route there, because that's where you can reach out to them directly. You can find them directly. You can post important information about the state of the industry, about the state of life insurance, about good new products that are coming out, and ways that, in the case of people who are good at selling to businesses, ways that life insurance can really protect businesses. And you can just make little posts about the stuff you already know, but it's stuff that the business owner doesn't know. And so you keep that page alive. And when people are looking on LinkedIn about life insurance, your posts will come up, much like Google, which is changing a lot with AI, as we all know too. But much like search engine optimization, all of these social media sites, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, they all have algorithms that help lift your posts to the top based on what the consumer or the prospect is trying to learn more about. And I think that's very powerful. Because in addition to posts you can put on your own page, and you don't have to break yourself for it. A lot of people, they say, I'm going to post twice a day or every single day, right? And I'm just gonna commit to doing that on 2 social media platforms, right? That's a big commitment. It's an easy thing to forget to do when you wake up or when you go to bed. My advice is always don't put too much pressure on yourself. I know that sounds counterintuitive to success, but what I've seen too many people do is it's like a diet in the New Year's. I'm going to go to the gym every day. What happens? 80% of Americans go to the gym every day for 2 weeks, or they get on a workout regimen for 2 weeks, and then it's too much. It's too much of a commitment. What I would say to you is make a reasonable commitment with yourself, or hire people to do it for you. If you want to go all out, by all means, I would never turn down that business. But I would say make it reasonable. Say, I'm going to make sure I get 3 posts a weekend, just 3 on one platform. Start easy. Get yourself into a groove. And once you're in that groove, you'll almost be on autopilot. I would also say AI is your friend here. Some people get really scared. They look at a blank screen and a keyboard in front of them, and they don't know what they want to talk about. Well, utilize AI. There's so many great free AI tools out there right now, whether it's Grok on X or whether it's ChatGPT. Get some ideas. Say, I'm a life insurance agent. I really like to specialize in selling indexed universal or annuities or long-term care. Let it know what your specialties are and say, I want to create some compelling social posts, and see what it prints out. And then be the manager of that content and say, okay, I like this one. I like that one. And, you can find some images. You can have it generate some nice, easy images for you. And go ahead and use those in your post. It doesn't have to be a huge burden on your time to maintain your social media presence. But then also use those same social media platforms to find your prospects. That's something we do all the time. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, you can find the groups of people who you could be selling insurance to. They have groups. They talk to each other. They talk about their needs. If it's a small business group, you can find them in your area and you reach out directly. You can join the groups. There's so many avenues social media provides to get you in front of new business that, sometimes it just takes a little exploration to find that next client. And once you find that one next client in a group, they're going to refer you to all their friends. They're going to refer you to other people in that group. So I think people underutilize social media, and they don't need to. We should be working with it.
I totally agree. And all of this stuff that we just went over, it all works hand in hand. It's like having your McDonald's storefront. You need your drive-through. You need your beautiful entrance and your clean parking lot. And the big sign out front. All of it has to work together. And at the end of the day, that's what creates your business. And if you don't have time, because you want to make sure that you're on the phones all day and meeting these people face to face, and you're out there prospecting, you can have a third party company handling all of this in the background, just like Danny and Apis. Okay. And even if you wanted, and if you wanted to be, more on the budget of $59, $60 a month, and you want, for example, Snoozy to handle your social media management, then you would have like Danny and his team handle your paid ads and, let's say, Insure Me Now Direct Pro or your full website, whatever it is. You can, whatever works best for you. If it's working, you're making new sales, building your business, that's a win. At the end of the day, that's it.
I could not agree more. Yeah, it's exactly it. Whatever your budget is, there's a solution for you. Sometimes people just need help with strategy, getting set up. I think, the first 5% of any endeavor is often the hardest thing. It's getting up and actually starting it. And I think the last 5% is the other hardest part. But once you're kind of up, or you at least have a plan forward of how you're going to market, and you could do it all yourself. But sometimes people just struggle coming up with a strategy. And I think you'll find that however you can get past that first 5% of that endeavor, of your marketing endeavor, however you can get there is worth it. Because once you're there, you can really, the sky is the limit. You'll move forward so much faster. It's about having a comprehensive plan, really understanding who do you sell best to? What products do you enjoy selling the most? What motivates you as an agent? And then applying your marketing to that motivation.
Couldn't agree more. I have one last comment before I let you go. But before I even jump into that, Danny, do you have anything else before I dive into this last part that you want to share with the audience? Any other tips or
I do
strategies?
reiterate not to be afraid of AI. I hear a lot of people, agents, even BGAs, a little fearful of the future of AI. And I kind of view it like, you may have heard this myth where when Columbus was landing in the Americas, the natives, having never seen large ships before, didn't see the ships until they were practically right on top of them. They should have been able to see them for 3 days because they're out on the horizon. But because their brains couldn't really fathom what it was, they didn't really understand it until it was right on their shores. And I don't know if that's true, but it's been said many times. And I like the concept of it because I think that for a lot of people, AI is that big ship on the horizon, and we don't quite know what to make of it, and we're a little fearful of it. And what I think is we need to get off the beach. We need to get on board that ship. We should embrace it. It's going to augment our careers. It's going to augment our lives. But don't be afraid to learn how to use it in all of your efforts, because it will augment your career in a positive way. You'll either be able to make as much money as you're making now working less hours, or you can work the same hours and make a lot more money, have a lot more opportunity, because it allows you to do so many things faster. So whether we like it or not, that ship is coming to our shore. And in my opinion, I would say get in the canoe and go out there and get on board that ship. Really embrace it, because it's not going anywhere. And honestly, it is your competitive advantage. I just want to make that point because of all the stuff I hear talking to clients.
Absolutely. To say, think back, if you've been in this business for a while with electronic applications, 15 years ago, all the companies were scared of this. Compliance, everyone was scared. They said it's never going to happen. They want a 42-page application that has to be paper, and it's got to be mailed or faxed. And look what happened. Today, 90% of the companies won't even accept the paper app. So it's the same thing. What I want to leave you all with, and I have, by the way, about 5 minutes of slides that I'm going to jump into to wrap up here. But I think the two big questions you need to ask yourself as an agent, and I would jot this down now, but this will help you tremendously with your strategy, so you know what direction you're going in. Is, what is your niche going to be? Like, are you going to focus on everyone in the medical field, for example, right? And then you're going to take all of your marketing campaigns and strategies and focus in that direction. Maybe your website, will look like, it's kind of a place for doctors and RNs. It feels at home with the colors and the little syringe, logo that they have. If it's going to be maybe cigar users or people that use the marijuana prescription card, because you have products that will give those clients non-smoker rates. Okay, then you're going to obviously gear all your marketing towards people that smoke cigars and use the prescription cards. So figure out your niche. Number two is, who can you network with, right? Is it an option to work with Aunt Barry, right, or Uncle Joey with his health insurance agency? So work something out with him, and then all of a sudden you're cross-selling. You're using his website, they're using yours. You have a link set up. But if it's a P&C agency, if it's a real estate company, because cousin Shelly, owns PE real estate, and now she's going to let you market to her database. So think of who you can network with and start reaching out to these people. So figure out your niche, figure out who you can work with, who's going to be open to that, right? Possibility, and then start working on these options. And then all of your marketing is geared towards that strategy, and you're off to the races. And then Danny and his team can help you take it from there. Okay, Danny, I want to thank you once again. You've been awesome on the webinars, podcast. We're going to also send out a thank you email, and we'll include the past episodes that we've done together, because there's so much great information there. So I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep. And if you want to work with Danny, we have a form on our website. We can get you set up, make the intro, and we'll go from there.
Thank you for joining us for the Bill Levinson Experience. Please feel free to share this podcast with anyone you think would be interested. You may also visit levinsonandassociates.com and all of Bill Levinson's social media pages for more information.